My child, do not scroll. Stop right there. This message is for you. If you found this video at this exact moment, it is not an accident, and you already feel it, don't you? That strange pull in your chest. That quiet urgency you can't explain. Like something is about to happen, and you were meant to hear this before it does. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to say may determine what happens to you before this day ends. Stay with me. Do not skip. There is something you must understand before it's too late. There is a shift happening right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. And many people will fall because they were not paying attention. Many will miss it because they thought they had more time. But you were stopped for a reason. You were chosen to hear this warning before the door begins to close. And I need you to listen all the way through, because I will reveal something near the end that you cannot afford to miss. You've been feeling it for days, maybe even weeks. That restlessness. That sudden waking up in the middle of the night for no reason. That moment when you were sitting alone, staring at your phone, and something inside you whispered, "Something is coming." You tried to ignore it. You told yourself it was nothing. But deep down, you knew this is not normal. Think back. The time you were driving alone, and your mind suddenly went quiet, like everything paused for a second. The moment you stood in front of the mirror and felt like you didn't fully recognize yourself. The late night when you couldn't sleep, and you kept checking the time, 323, 444, over and over again. That was not coincidence. Those were signals, and you were not meant to ignore them. Stay with Meg, because this is where it begins to get serious. The number 111 was a call to alignment, a sign that you were being positioned. 222 was about a decision, a moment of balance that required your attention. 333 was a warning that you were not alone, that something higher was trying to reach you. And 4044 that was protection, but also a boundary. A line being drawn. And 777D that is completion. That is the moment everything changes. But here is the truth: most people don't want to hear you have already missed some of these signs. You felt them, but you delayed. You hesitated. You told yourself, "I'll deal with it later." And now later is here. Do not skip. I need you to hear this next part. There is a narrowing window, and once it closes, it does not reopen the same way. Many will fall not because they were weak, but because they were distracted. Because they kept scrolling. Because they kept waiting. Because they thought they had another chance. But you still have a choice. And I will explain that choice in a moment. But first you need to understand what is at stake. Dear family, before we continue, I want to share something important. Recently our channel was demonetized by YouTube, which means we no longer receive earnings from these videos. Yet every message here takes many hours of prayer, writing, recording, and editing. Our mission is to bring hope and encouragement to those who feel lost, lonely, or overwhelmed. Without support, it becomes very difficult for us to keep creating these messages and continue running this channel. If these messages have ever helped or inspired you, you can support this mission through the links in the description or the pinned comment. Buy me a coffee. Even a small contribution helps us continue creating these messages and reaching people who need them the most. Thank you for your love, support, and prayers. God bless you. Now listening, because what comes next is the part most people will never hear. There is a separation happening. Not everyone will go where you are about to go. Not everyone will receive what you are about to receive. Some will fall into confusion, into loss, into chaos, and they won't even understand why. But you are being given a warning before it happens. Stay with me, do not skip, because this next part is personal. You've been carrying something heavy, haven't you? A weight you don't talk about. A fear you hide. A question you keep asking, but never get a clear answer to. And recently, it's been getting stronger. Louder. Almost like something is pushing you to face it. That is not random. That is preparation. Because before elevation comes exposure, before breakthrough comes pressure, and before transformation comes a moment where everything feels like it's about to fall apart. And this is where many people fall. But not you. Not if you listen carefully. There is still time, but not much. Before midnight, before this day ends, there is a decision that must be made. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now, and here is what you must do. First, you must declare it. Out loud or in your heart, but clearly. Say, I will not fall. I am ready. Type, I am ready, in the comments right now. Do it as a mark of your decision. Do not delay. Second, take a small but meaningful action. Pause after this video. Sit in silence for just 1 minute. No phone, no distractions. Just you and listen. Because something will come to you in that moment. Third, take one real step in your life that you have been avoiding. That call you didn't make. That decision you postponed. That action you feared. Do it within the next 24 hours. Not later. This is your alignment point. Stay with Meg, we're not done yet. Because if you do this, if you respond, if you act, there is a shift waiting for you. A financial door that has been closed will begin to open in ways you didn't expect. A relationship that felt broken may begin to heal, or be replaced with something far better. A sense of purpose of something you've been searching for will start to become clear. And that heaviness you've been carrying, that emotional weight, it will begin to lift. But only if you move now. Do not skip this moment. Because the truth is, this message will not come to you again in the same way. Many will ignore this. Many will scroll past. Many will say, maybe later. And many will fall. But you don't have to. You were stopped for a reason. You were made to hear this. And right now, at this exact second, you are standing at a line. On one side, delay, confusion, missed opportunities. On the other, clarity, breakthrough, alignment. And the line is thinner than you think. So choose. Like this video if you feel this message in your spirit. Share it with someone who needs to hear this before it's too late. Subscribe now, because what is coming next, you will not want to miss. And remember this, the end is near for one version of your life. But the beginning is waiting on your decision. And you can feel it right now, can't you? That quiet tension building in your chest, a gang, like something inside you is saying, don't ignore this part. Because this is where it changes. Stay with me. Do not skip. Because what I'm about to reveal is the part most people never reach, not because it's hitting, but because they don't have the patience to stay until the truth unfolds. And that alone is why many will fall. You've already noticed it, the way things around you have been shifting. People acting differently. Situations that once felt stable now feel uncertain. Doors that used to open easily are suddenly closed, and paths you never considered are now appearing in front of you. This is not chaos. This is separation. And you are in the middle of it. Do not skip, because this next part will feel uncomfortable, but you need to hear it. There were moments, very specific moments, where you were warned. But you brushed it off. The time you felt uneasy about a decision, but went through with it anyway. The conversation where something inside you said, be careful. But you stayed silent. The opportunity you delayed because you thought it would come back later. Stay with Meg, because this is deeper than you think. Even the small things, like when you kept seeing the same message, repeated in different ways. A video, a quote, a random sentence someone said, and you felt that strange familiarity, like you had heard it before somewhere beyond this world. Those were not random. Those were interruptions, divine interruptions, trying to redirect you before you stepped too far in the wrong direction. And yet you hesitated. Not because you didn't Carib, but because you weren't sure. But now uncertainty is no longer safe. This is where it becomes urgent. Because there is something approaching, and it doesn't wait for clarity. It responds to decision. Do not skip. I need you fully present for this. There are two types of people right now, those who will awaken, and those who will remain distracted. And the difference between them is not intelligence, not strength, not even faith, it is attention. What you choose to focus on in this exact moment will determine what you step into next. And this is where many fall. Because they look away. Because they say, "I'll think about it later." Because they don't realize that later is no longer guaranteed in the same way. Stay with Meg, because I'm about to show you something you've felt but never fully understood. Have you noticed how time feels different lately? Some days feel like they disappeared hours, slipping away without you even realizing it. And other moments feel stretched, heavy, like everything slows down and forces you to feel every second. That is not in your head. That is alignment shifting. You are being pulled between two timelines, one where you continue as you have been, and one where everything changes. And the longer you delay, the harder it becomes to step into the one meant for you. Do not skip, because this next part is where most people lose it. There is a pattern, and you are part of it. 11 was when you first started noticing something was different. 22 was when you were given a choice but didn't fully commit. 33 was when you were being guided but questioned it. 444 was when protection was placed around you even when you didn't realize it. But now you are approaching 5555, and 555 is change you cannot reverse. This is where everything accelerates. This is where hesitation becomes loss. This is where delay becomes separation. Stay with Meg, do not skip, because this is your final warning before the shift completes. There are things in your life right now that cannot come with you where you're going. Old habits, old fears, certain people, certain patterns, and you've felt it, haven't you? That quiet knowing that something or someone is no longer aligned with where you are being pulled, but you've been holding on. Out of comfort, out of fear, out of habit. And that is exactly where the fall begins. Because what you refuse to release will eventually weight you down, and you don't have time for that anymore. This is where it gets real, because you're not just being warned, you're being invited. Invited into a version of your life that requires courage of attention and immediate action. And if you're still hearing, if you haven't skipped, then you already know. This message is not for everyone. It's for you. Stay with Meg just a little longer, because what comes next is the turning point. There is something you must understand about this moment. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is quiet, subtle, almost easy to miss. Which is why so many people miss it. They are waiting for a big sign, a clear voice, a dramatic event. But the truth is, this moment is happening in silence. In awareness. In the decision you make within yourself right now. And that decision is everything. Do not skip, because this is where your path locks in. You've been asking for change. You've been asking for clarity. You've been asking for a sign. And now that it's here, the only question left is, will you respond? Or will you delay again? Because this time delay does not just mean waiting. Delay means missing. And missing at this stage comes with consequences you cannot undo the same way. Stay with Meg, feel this, don't run from it. Because you are closer than you think. Closer to breakthrough. Closer to clarity. Closer to the life you've been sensing but haven't fully stepped into. But there is one last layer you must pass through. And this is the hardest part. Letting go of the version of you that is not ready. The version that doubts. The version that hesitates. The version that waits for permission. That version cannot cross this line. And you feel that resistance right now, don't you? That inner voice trying to pull you back into comfort. That urge to distract yourself. To scroll. To leave. But you didn't. You stayed. And that changes everything. Because staying is the first act of alignment. Now comes the next. Listen carefully. Before this day ends, there will be a moment. A small moment. It might seem insignificant. A thought. An opportunity. A sudden urge to act. And in that moment you will recognize it. because it will feel familiar. Like this. Like now. And when that moment comes, you must not hesitate. That is your opening. That is your confirmation. That is your step forward. Do not skip, we are almost there. Because if you take that step, everything begins to shift. Not all at once, seek, but enough for you to know you chose correctly, and from that point things begin to align. Resources appear, people shift, opportunities open, and the path becomes clearer. But if you hesitate, if you ignore it, if you say, later, one more time, the window narrows, and what could have been easy becomes difficult. What could have been aligned becomes forced, and what could have been yours moves past you. Stay with Meg, this is the final stretch. You are not here by accident. You did not hear this by chance. You were positioned here, at this exact moment, to decide. So don't overthink it. Don't delay it. Don't question it. Feel it, and act. Type ICOC none O in the comments if you're still here, if you feel this, if you are ready to step forward without hesitation. Like this video, not for Meg, but as a signal of your decision. Share this message, because someone close to you is about to miss their moment, and you might be the only one who can stop them. Subscribe, because this is not the last message you will need. And now here it is. The truth you've been waiting for. The end is not something to fear. The end is what clears the way. And what is ending in your life right now is exactly what was holding you back. So let it end. Let it fall. Let it go. Because what comes after is what you've been asking for all along. And this time you're ready.